when they recognize that they need help, how do we create safe spaces for these people to stop using violence? Because we can support the victim survivors, but if we don't stop it at the roots with the behavior of the perpetrator, they're just going to go and find someone else that they can perpetrate the violence to. So I think it's really important in talking about prevention with young people and with men. It's having those safe spaces so they can feel vulnerable enough to say something is happening and I don't want to be doing this anymore. And then how do we provide, the education and the right support and help them to engage with the services? My name is Etty Garabelli. I'm part of the Latin American Society of South Australia, and I work as a case manager for the SETS program, supporting people from Latin America that have come in recent years under the humanitarian program. And we often work with the whole families, just really empowering them in understanding life here in Australia and helping them navigate the new systems and connect to other services so that they can feel that sense of belonging here in Adelaide. It's important that we all work together, and not just in paper or in words, but in action. And we're able to also understand that sometimes when we make a referral for our clients, we need to have that discussion with other services who might not be familiarized with working with people who come as refugees or from migrant backgrounds. I think sometimes it's not just the language, but it's the context that can be lost, in which they might, you know that they're eligible for a service, but when they go through their intake, they might not respond accordingly. And we just want to make sure that, working together, we ensure that the person receives appropriate support at the right time as well. I think it's important also to understand that just because we come from other countries, from other communities, from other religious groups, that doesn't mean that there is more prevalence of family and domestic violence. It happens all across, status, different visas, anyone. And it's really important to not pinpoint, but to recognize that in every group, domestic violence is happening. How do we have those discussions to prevent that and to educate people to understand what are healthy and unhealthy behaviors? And when they recognize that they need help, how do we create safe spaces for these people to stop using violence? Because we can support the victim survivors, but if we don't stop it at the roots with the behavior of the perpetrator, they're just going to go and find someone else that they can perpetrate the violence to. So I think it's really important in talking about prevention with young people and with men. It's having those safe spaces so they can feel vulnerable enough to say something is happening and I don't want to be doing this anymore. And then how do we provide, the education and the right support and help them to engage with the services that will be culturally appropriate and will understand that the journey of migration is quite complex for many, and that needs to be taken into consideration. One of the things that we have noticed is that for many men, they have been the providers of their lives. And when they come here, they find it more difficult to find a job, and they have this sense of failure. And then what happens is that they start blaming the family. Their frustrations then are passed on to their children and to their wife or their partner. And if we're able to identify that and support that person with the right tools to hopefully improve their situation, but also recognize that that response is not helping him or helping the family as well. I think that's really important. But also helping them rebuild their new identity in a way in which they no longer have to use violence or control or coercion to feel respected or to feel that they are, the men of the house.